In this video and the two other videos or the two next videos, we will talk about motivation. Uh, in our journey to motivation, we will clarify some main issues related to motivation. Number one, what about the definition of motivation? And I will introduce two definitions of the motivation. Then we will talk about the functions of motivation. What about the functions of motivation? Does motivation have functions in our life? Yes. And we will figure out that motivation has three functions. And also some different point else will be covered in this video and the two other videos. For example, what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? What about the some related concepts such as drive, motive, needs, desire, incentive, and what about the hierarchy of needs or Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs? This is the main issue we will cover in our presentation in today and the two other presentations or two other videos. Now I would like to start with functions of motivation. What is the function of motivation? But before talking about the function of motivation, I would like to introduce the definition of motivation. And as I said, we have two definitions. Uh, are you acquainted with the meaning of motivation? If you look at any dictionary and search for the meaning of motivation, you will find that the meaning of motivation or the definition of motivation could be as follows: the reason or reasons one has for activity or behave for acting or behaving in a particular way. And in psychology, it is the causes of our behavior. Motivation is the desire to act in service of goal. So we will talk about the goal directed behavior. And it is the crucial element in setting and attaining one's objectives. And research, you have to know that research shows that people can influence their own levels of motivation and self control. So you can control your motivation, although motivation control your behavior, but if you will, you can control your motives and you can have self control. Now, let me introduce the two definitions. Definition number one: motivation is an internal state. An internal state means that motivation an internal state means that motivation is covert behavior, not overt behavior. So they are private and internal. and you cannot observe it directly, but you can observe and measure and infer it indirectly through our behaviors. So our behaviors, which overt behavior, could be an indicators for our motivation, which is private and internal and is internal state. So motivation is an internal state that activates behavior. And this is one of the motivation functions, activating function. It means it energizes our behavior and it gives it direction. This is a second function, directing function, steering function. And the motivation is the driving force behind all actions, not only human beings, but also animals and even lower organisms. But in lower organisms, we are not talking about psychological or social motives, but we are talking about physiological and physical motives. And it is the cause of our behavior. This is the first definition. Again, motivation is an internal state that activates behavior and gives it direction. And motivation is the driving force behind all actions of human beings, animals, and lower organisms. And it could be seen as the cause of behavior. What about the definition number two? Motivation is a process of arousing. Arousability is a crucial element in motivation because if you are motivated, you will be tensive and the tension will be reduced if you would be able to meet or achieve your goals. Motivation is a process of arousing and sustaining a goal directed behavior. Sustaining a goal directed behavior means that motivation is the desire to act in service of goal. So you are directed by your goals and you cannot achieve your motives, achieve your goals, meet your needs if you are not able to achieve your goals. Achieving your goals is the only way to satisfy your needs. Uh, So, motivation is a process of arousing and sustaining goal directed behavior induced by the expectation of satisfying individual needs. If you are not expecting that you can get your goals, you can achieve your goals, you can meet your needs, you will not be motivated. And the motivation process is a circular dimension. We have a circle. It starts with unsatisfied needs and ends with a new satisfied needs. Now we have to highlight some concepts in these two definitions. One of them is the goal directed behavior. Goal directed behavior, as I said before, motivation is the desire to act in service of goal. So, motivation is a set of attitudes and the values that influence a person to act in a specific goal directed manner. Why a specific goal directed manner? Because this specific goal directed manner will help him and will enable him to get his needs, to achieve his needs, to satisfy his needs, to get his goal, to get his reinforcer, to gain his reinforcer. And this is the circular dimension. Do you remember? We said we have a circular dimension. This is the circular dimension. It starts with unsatisfied needs and then get back to unsatisfied needs. But unsatisfied needs usually produce tension, and the tension leads to drives. It drives, I have a desire, and in that case, I have some behavior. They are search behaviors to find my goal, to get my goal. And if I am able to get my goal and meet my needs and achieve my goal, what happened? In that case, I will be satisfied, and this is satisfaction. What happens if you are satisfied now? What about the tension? Reduction of tension. The tension will reduce because you are satisfied now. But after few minutes, few hours, few days, you have a new unsatisfied needs and they get back again to unsatisfied need. And we still in this circular dimension as we are still life. Now, what about the functions of motivation? We have three functions. They are directing function. So motivation direct our behaviors, direct it to get our goals, to achieve our needs, direct it towards a goal, a specific goal. The second function is activating function. An activating function means that motivation energizes our behavior. It energizes our behavior to get our goals, to achieve our goals. And the third function is control function. So we have goal directed behavior, and motivation is the cause of our behavior because most of our behavior are caused by our motives, our needs, our drives. What about motivation in organization? In order to clarify the role of motivation in organization, number one, we have to know number one, in today's organization, motivation plays an important role in determining whether a company will succeed or not. Number two, each organization has its desired goals, and the manager, the role of the managers that they have try they have tried they have to try to achieve the goals of the organization. How come? Through employees. You cannot achieve the goals by yourself only, but through employees. And one of the most effective ways, in addition of course to changing the environmental factors, one of the most effective ways is to influence and change the inner drives of the employees of workers. Influence it, I mean by that you change their inner drives. You change it in a way helping in changing or increasing their performance. And in that case, this is a way helping in achieving the goals of the organization. Again, so motivation has an important role now, and it is its role in determining whether a company will succeed or not. And each organization has its desired goal, and the manager have to achieve these goals through employees. How come? In addition to changing the environmental factors, improve the environmental factors, one of the most effective way is that you have to change the inner drives. You have to motivate the workers, the employees. And if you would be able to change their inner drives and motivate them, this in turn will change their performance in a way helping in achieving the goals of organization. And in that case, we have to use techniques of motivation, that techniques that could be used to satisfy the needs of the workers and how to motivate them to in in a way, in how to motivate them in a way helping in achieving the performance through improving achieving of the goals of the organization through improving their performance or increasing their performance. And you have to take into account that different employees or different workers have different needs, and also they have different priorities of the satisfaction of these needs. So they are different into something. Number one, they may be different in their needs, but even if they have the same needs, they are maybe different in the priorities of the satisfaction of the same needs. One of them put one kind of need first and the other kind of need second, but the other, both the second is the first one and the first one is the second. So they are different in the priorities or satisfaction of needs. That's all today about we covered in our session today or our video today three main points about motivation. Point number one related to definition of motivation. Point number two related to the functions of motivation. Point number three related to the role of motivation in organizations. And I would like uh, to summarize again what we said in few points. Firstly, we define motivation as an internal state. And take care, if I ask you about the motivation, is it overt behavior or covert behavior? For sure, it is covert behavior. So, motivation is an internal state that activates behavior and gives it direction. And motivation is the driving force behind all actions of human beings, animals, and lower organisms. And motivation could be seen as the cause of behavior. The second definition is motivation is a process of arousing and sustaining goal directed behavior. So we have arousability related to motivation. I mean by arousability, tension. If you are motivated, you will be tense, and the tension will be reduced if you be able to achieve your goal. A process of arousing and sustaining goal directed behavior induced by the expectation of satisfying individual needs. And as I said before, you will not be motivated if you not be able to expect that you can satisfy your needs. If you cannot satisfy your needs, you will not be motivated because you know that you will get nothing. And the motivation process is a circular dimension, and the circle started with unsatisfied need and ends with new unsatisfied needs, and we have a circle. And in our way in this circle we have tension produced by the unsatisfied need, gives us some drives we are willing to do something to satisfy our needs. So we have search behavior, we have some behaviors, we act, we behave in some ways to get our needs or satisfy our needs. And if you would be able to get your goal, you will be satisfied. And in that case, we have satisfied needs. And in that case, tension will be reduced. But after few minutes, few hours, few days, we have new unsatisfied needs, and we will go on in this circle all our life. And we should be acquainted with the concept of goal directed behavior, because goal directed behavior is a key concept in motivation, because our behavior uh, should be in service of our goal in order to get this goal. And we said that motivation has three functions: directing, because it steers our behavior; towards an end, a specific end, a specific goal. Activating the behavior, it means it energizes our behavior, and to control behavior function, it means motivation affects or influence our behavior, and it could be seen as the cause of our behaviors. And we highlighted the role of motivation in organization. And as we said, in today's organization, motivation plays an important role, and each organization has its desired goal, and the managers have to try to achieve the goals of organization through employees. And one of the most effective way is to energizes people. I mean by energizes people, increase their motivation, their inner drives to act in a way helping in achieving the goal of organization. And he can use some techniques of increasing motivation. And also, he has to take into account that different people have different employees have sorry have different needs, and also have different priorities of satisfaction of these needs. That's all today about these three main points: definition of motivation, functions of motivation, the role of motivation in organization. Thank you so much.